the best ETF to invest in for 2026. There's a quick rule we need to flag for our European listeners.
Oh yeah, the EU PRIIPs regulations.
Basically, you can't buy US-domiciled ETFs directly. Brokers over there might seem to offer them, but they're usually just CFDs.
Contracts for difference. You're essentially just betting on price movements without actually owning the underlying asset. So to make sure you can hold the real thing, we're going to give you the exact UCI's equivalent, the European approved version for every single fund today.
First, with the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF ticker VOO. This is widely considered the ultimate core holding.
It boasts $872 billion in assets with a tiny 0.03% expense ratio. And what stands out isn't just the size, it's the consistency. The S&P averages roughly a 10% annual return over the long term. And over the last decade, VOO delivered a total return of 310%.
And for European listeners looking to build that core, you'll want to look up the ticker CSPX.L instead. Oh, and really quick, before we hit the next fund, check out Seeking Alpha for independent research, quant ratings, and dividend analysis. We've put discount links right in the description for you.
So moving from the broad market to aggressive growth, the research points to the Invesco QQQ Trust. It tracks the NASDAQ 100.
Right, with companies like Apple, Microsoft, and obviously NVIDIA dominating it.
NVIDIA alone is 9.12% of the fund.
Yeah.
It has $395 billion in AUM and charges a 0.20% fee.
It has an annualized 10-year return of over 19%, right?
To put that in perspective, a $10,000 investment made a decade ago is worth roughly $58,000 today.
A 480% cumulative return is European investors wanting to capture that growth can use ticker CNDX.L, but what if you want reliable income instead of just tech growth?
That brings us to the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, or SCHD. It yields 3.82%, which is actually triple the income of a standard S&P 500 fund.
And it only costs 0.06%. The historical data on dividend growth?
From 1973 to 2022, companies that consistently grew dividends turned a $100 investment into $14,118. Non-dividend payers over that exact same period grew to just $843.
The European equivalent there is VWRD.L. Now, jumping back to tech, our sources highlight the Vanguard Information Technology ETF ticker VGT. Why choose a pure tech fund over just holding QQQ?
Great question. VGT gives you pure tech exposure across 319 stocks by excluding the non-tech companies found in the NASDAQ 100. It has $111.7 billion in AUM and a 0.09% fee.
So it's much more concentrated.
Exactly. NVIDIA actually makes up 18.05% of this fund. That concentration has delivered a 23.18% annualized growth rate over 10 years.
European investors, your ticker is UCITS-compliant. Now, if you want the opposite of sector concentration, there's the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, VTI.
Right, instead of just 500 large caps, this holds 3,450 stocks across all market sizes. It's the broadest U.S. market exposure you can get for the same 0.03% fee as VOO.
And for Europe, the UCITS equivalent is VWRD.L. Shift away from traditional equities for a second. The Vanguard Real Estate ETF, VNQ, holds 151 U.S. REITs.
REITs are great because they're legally required to distribute 90% of their taxable income to shareholders. Yielding 3.82% VNQ acts as a fantastic inflation hedge, completely independent of the tech sector.
A great way to diversify. The European equivalent is QQQ Finally, to round out the portfolio, our source points to the iShares Core U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF ticker AGG.
This is your fixed income benchmark, 0.03% fee and a 3.88% yield. As yields stabilize around that 4% mark, this fund perfectly balances out those growth-heavy equity risks we just discussed.
A foundational defensive play. European listeners look for AGUL. Full list including additional EPFs for a more diversified portfolio. Visit tradingplatforms.ai, best ETF SaaS to invest in 2026. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder to check out Seeking Alpha's stock research tools using the discount links in the description.